We live?
Yep, we are live.
Fantastic.
I feel alive right now.
Telling a lot. I feel alive. I put my Gordon Mother shirt on.
It's lovely.
To Natalie Benson. Coming soon to the podcast.
There we go.
And Andrew Cowdice. That's how you say his name, who runs Head Up. Anywho, so we are Grow Mode. So we're at 1:30 on Monday. Welcome back. Happy New Year, everybody. We are going to run through a bunch of fun stuff today. So for the most part, you know the drill. This is, and I'm going to get to the legal disclaimer in a second, but we're going to start off the top with some leading news. We're going to talk about the Massachusetts repeal stuff really briefly. We're going to get into what's happening actually in the market in December, specifically a couple market updates coming at you. We're going to talk about the differences between Christmas, New Year's compared to, say, a Green Wednesday. Talk about social consumption. And we're just going to keep things moving along. A couple of interactive, fun little things. And we got a giveaway coming up mid-show, so stay tuned. There's going to be a fun giveaway. And if we have time, we'll react to a post that sparked a little bit of debate that I found on my little spicy.
Ooh, spicy post.
So let's get into it. So just the disclaimer. I got to read this. My 17 lawyers always insist I read this on air first, which is, this show is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Nothing discussed should be taken as legal, medical, financial, or investment advice. We are sharing opinions, industry observations, and publicly available information. Always do your own research and consult appropriate professionals before making any decisions.
That's definitely not us.
All those things. We're not those things.
Yeah.
All right. So, let's talk about the repeal effort. So, as you know, there was a repeal effort that started in 2025, because technically we're in 2026 now. And they collected a bunch of signatures, and the Marijuana Policy Project, MPP, has kind of reached out onto Instagram and everything. And actually, can you pull up my screen real quick? So they did this post here. So, attention Massachusetts, were you or anyone you know misled into signing a ballot petition to end adult use sales in the state? So it's very clear. It says we don't have much time. That was 6 days ago, but it's still pressing because we do have a little bit of time, but it's not much time. There has been potentially widespread fraud, and they want to ensure that the commission has all the facts before ruling on whether the measure will be allowed on November's ballot. So if so, please contact us ASAP at that email address. We could probably throw that in the show notes or maybe add it to a comment. protectcannabisregulation@gmail.com. So the MPP was here when the adult use was launched in 2016, and they were part of that along with a bunch of other advocates for cannabis, and was able to get that passed. They're coming back into Massachusetts now to support the fight against the repeal. So, and the story here is basically, and again, I've heard this. I have not specifically, I don't know anybody who was directly affected by this.
They emailed me.
Who?
The group, the SP, whatever the heck they are. They emailed me like 2 days ago. I don't know how they got my email address, and they were basically telling me about how cannabis can harm school-age children.
So they're emailing people now directly, but they're your email or somewhere.
They got my email. I did not sign one of these things. I will give you that assurance.
Oh, that's so interesting. So they're actually emailing people. Now, the group is the Coalition for Safer Massachusetts, I think, or something like that.
Like that.
And we covered a lot on, obviously, the last show. But so it basically, what was it asking you to do?
I didn't read it. I'll be honest. I skimmed, and then I sent an expletive written response, and then I blocked them. But I'd be happy to bring it up on a subsequent show and share.
Well, sometimes it's important because you've got to know, you've got to know your enemies.
Let me pull it up.
So that'd be awesome if you can find that.
Yeah, I can find it.
But as everybody knows, obviously we have a fight on our hands right now. So we're trying to find ways to do what we can to stop it before it even gets on the ballot. Now, we've been told it's probably going to end up on the ballot. That's not unprecedented. I actually don't know the whole history of this has ever been done before. But from my perspective, it's like, if there is an opportunity to stop it before the ballot then let's stop it before the ballot. So I was told basically to like wait for a second until it gets on the ballot and then we start our fight. So I don't know what's going on. I'm getting mixed messages here, but regardless, we're a united front here. We're going to try to do everything in our power to make sure that this does not move forward. So while Dan, you're pulling up that email, if you can find it.
Yeah, I found it.
All right, can we switch to your screen?
Yeah, I will switch it up. I think
that's interesting. SFDP. I've never heard of that.
I don't know if it's the exact group, but I like the headlines here are, I don't know how they got my email address. And
that's interesting.
It was really interesting.
All right, now we're going to get a sneak peek of it.
All right. Yeah, so all the terrible things in my email. DP start making sense.
Yeah, I go to Dan. There we go.
Maybe it's not so much about Massachusetts.
Students for a Sensible Drug Policy, SSDP.
I think the story here is it's spreading. I don't know if you saw, Jason. They're now doing this in Arizona, and they're underway in Maine as well. So this is spreading.
So that is so interesting because we know that there is a large amount of dollars being pushed into these repeal efforts from funding sources that are typically red state funding sources. And what's happening is Trump signed the executive order.
Correct.
So I think there is some kind of confusion even on his base of like where this is all going.
This seems to be a Republican email to me, undermining what a Republican president and administration just did.
Right. So, yeah, there's a bit of confusion there, but we know that the person who's in charge of that other group, which we were talking about, Kevin Sabet, he is obviously, he was disappointed in the executive order from all we know. So that one, unfortunately, we're going to have to pause on that one because I actually don't know much more about like kind of that. I didn't realize that there was going to be a let me go to his X account actually.
While you're doing that, I'll pull up some Chat GPT for let's see. You're going to get that on screen in a second. So yeah, it's spreading out to Maine. I guess that was like 2 weeks ago they started announcing that, and I heard this morning it's now in Arizona they are moving to repeal at least adult use. It sounds like Arizona might have some threats against medical as well, which is a little surprising. But it's happening. And they seem to be like doing it under the guise of helping children, protecting school-aged students, but
yeah, this is so I'm on X right now. These are old posts. Did he get his account taken away? Pull up mine real quick. No, this is, unless he just pinned. Are these all pinned? Look at my, so he, like 2019, this is how long he's been fighting for this. 95 to 97% of the people who use heroin and cocaine started with pot.
I mean, that's a really stupid figure, though. Like, you could also say the exact same thing about beer or Tylenol or, like, Flintstone vitamins. You have to start somewhere.
Right. Most people who use pot also abuse alcohol. They're complements, not substitutes. So anyway, there's some really old posts, it's weirdly out of order for me. Oh, you know why? Because I'm not logged in. Yeah. But yes, you can see that he has some stuff from 2025. Fox News publishing a piece on drug policy reform. 4 important ways Trump can tackle the drug crisis and make America healthy again. So he's been on it for a long time. I wish I actually was logged in so I could see some of the newer stuff, but he's been doing this for quite a long time. Anyways, but this is one of the people that we obviously have a heavy fight on our hands for. Anyways, let's pause on that stuff. The big takeaway here is going to be to reach out to the MPP at protectcannabisregulation@gmail.com if you were misled into signing a ballot, or if you think you were misled into signing a ballot. If you went to the grocery store and somebody said, hey, sign this, keep kids out of jail, and you signed something, that's probably what it was. Mm-hmm. So let's let's try to report as many as we can, and hopefully we can just kill this before it gets on the ballot. As far as I know, they collected the right amount of signatures. It's now up to either we're culling the signatures down below 75,000 and getting it off the ballot again, mm-hmm. or it's up to our representatives to actually kind of kill it in the legislature.
Last I heard, they had exceeded the number of ballots necessary, but not by a large margin. It was like 1,000 ballots or so, which seems like kind of a low number.
Yeah.
And yeah,
I mean, 75,000 does seem kind of like a low number. All right, so moving on, I actually have some interesting numbers to share. So I personally think that December was absolutely a banger of a month.
Was it a December to remember? Is that what you're saying?
December to remember. That's what the Toyota commercials tell me all the time. So I might as well remember it. But it looks like total sales were at almost $110 million, dollars in total retail sales. So this is retail sales, and this is provided by Little Earths. So Little Earths team over there, if you're not using them, definitely use them. I can get you an intro to the team over there. They're not sponsoring any of this stuff, but the data did come from Little Earth since we're one of the subscribers.
I mean, like Rick a lot. He's a great guy.
Yeah, Rick's a great guy. So compared to November is $104 million dollars in sales, but there was one less day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, the month over month on that was $5.5 million or so up, which is about a 5% increase month over month from November to December. Again, it was one less day. Most days are like 3.5 million.
Mm-hmm.
So technically, it still was up above that one extra day that we got. And also with all the holidays, right? So it's like, were you open on New Year's? Were you open on Christmas Day? And we're going to get to that in a second.
Yep.
But year over year, we're actually closer up 8%. And so we only did almost $102 million in December of last year compared to the $110 million we did in this December. So about 8% increase year over year, which is pretty great. Now, really quickly, if you were to guess what order the sales come in, what product categories, flour being number one, what comes after flour, you think?
I know the top four. It's always going to be flour.
Yep.
It's always going to be edibles. It's always going to be vapes. And it's always going to be pre-rolls. I typically see it flour, pre-rolls, edibles, vapes.
Okay. So I got those swapped here based on the data. So December, $44.5 million in flour, vapes, almost $25 million in vapes, pre-rolls, almost $17 million in pre-rolls. So 25 versus 17 or so. And then edibles did about $13 million. In December.
But those are the top four categories.
Yeah, those are the top four categories. Maybe just kind of froth them a little bit. Top 5 brands, according, again, to Little Earths, we have, I thought I saw just comment come through. Nope. We have Jeter. Fernway. Simply Herb, which is an Ascend brand.
Yeah, interesting.
Right. Perpetual. And
they're making moves.
Perpetual, I've seen up
everywhere,
down in the top 5 consistently. Sometimes they're even at number 1. Mm-hmm. It's interesting to see Jeter at the top again. It's like Jeter, Furway, Jeter most of the time. But literally, if you looked a year ago, I believe it would have been Simply Herb at the top. Uh-huh. They were just gangbusters with tons and tons of flour.
Right.
And so since flour drives the market, you could see these are all obviously flour brands. How about the top stores? Now, this is interesting. The top stores.
Can I guess?
Okay, yeah, I want you to take a guess.
These are Massachusetts-specific numbers, right?
Massachusetts-specific numbers. Again, retail sales numbers provided by Little Earths. So it's not perfect to the dollar, but
I'm gonna get the first one. I know that. I'm gonna guess Ascend.
New Bedford is number 1.
Interesting. I wouldn't have guessed the New Bedford location, so I would have actually gotten that partial credit.
Well, New Bedford is the discount store. Or what do you call it? The value? What do you call it?
Value brand.
It's the Costco version of it. It's just like, hey, we just have a bunch of products in here that are good prices.
Yeah. Bargain basement.
Bargain is crazy. Yeah, I don't know how they would say. I'm sure their marketing team's cringing right now because that's not how we describe our.
Now, did you arrange these numbers with like Ascend and MSO? So they have multiple locations, are you arranging it by
location?
I'm guessing there's another store in the top 10 for Ascend.
Yeah, there is.
I'm going to guess it's Boston.
That's right. Number 2, Ascend Boston.
Okay.
Ascend just cracks. And of course, if you know above, Simply Herb is an Ascend brand also. So they had the number 3 brand and they have the top 2 stores.
It's been a good year for those guys.
December. Right.
Decent December for those guys.
Let's see. So let's talk. Any other guesses on the top 5 list? I'm so curious.
The MSO thing really throws me off. I don't think Curaleaf does well in this state. I know it doesn't. I'm going to guess Garden Remedies might be in there at some...
Number 3.
Did I really get that right?
Good. Yeah, Garden Remedies, Melrose specifically.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
The other 2 might be interesting. I don't know if you can get these, but you can.
Can you give me a hint?
One's on the Cape, which is weird to say in the wintertime. The one is on the Cape.
That's really
technically it is the Cape.
I mean, I want to say Cape Cod cannabis, but I'm guessing I'm probably all. kind of maybe because you said you're gonna have those guys down.
I like those guys, but that's not.
I'm way off. I don't know. What do you got?
In Good Health. Sandwich.
Interesting.
Sandwiches on the cake.
That's very interesting. Okay. I would not have guessed that.
And number 5, which is South Shore.
I'm going to guess Elevator Roots.
Zahara.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Top 5.
Okay.
So between them all, they represented, that's a good, the top five is probably like 7-8% of the whole market. We've got Ascend New Bedford at 1.6 million, Ascend Boston at 1.3 million, Garden Remedies at 1.3 million, In Good Health at 1.2, and then Zahara at almost 1.2.
Wow.
So, and that's just for December, right? Just last month's data, since we're technically in January now. So that is the market update. I actually really am curious about your holiday comparison, because you started talking about how December to remember was a fantastic month for cannabis, and I think technically maybe a bit better than, say, November in general. Do you have any numbers?
I do have numbers. Let me share up the screen real quick. It was actually a little bit surprising. Like, we talk about Green Wednesday, we talk about 420. We rarely talk about New Year's Eve. Whenever you got that, Jacob, off, I'm sharing or not.
You sure?
Am I sharing? Perfect. Okay, perfect. We're still getting used to the tech. All right, so this data right here shows the entire year 2020.
You gotta share Dan's stuff.
Sorry. It's all good, buddy. Can you see my... There we go. Okay. So the first thing that was really interesting to me is the major dip in revenue from like the end of the summer to beginning of November. And what I'm told is that's price compression. That's just in general compression in pricing. But so this wasn't it did rebound quite a bit. And typically there is seasonality in this industry. This was what was really interesting to me. So let's start with 420. We saw 18,000 actual online purchasers. We were expecting, because, Google didn't know.
Approximately how many stores is this represented?
Around 400 for us nationwide. Okay. So then you come in here and you look at, what we got here. We got Green Wednesday right there. That was above 420, as we mentioned in our last show. Not by huge numbers, but right around that. We actually did even more on Black Friday, which was not expected, but it gets a lot more interesting here. All right, so that's right there. That is Christmas Eve. Those are those are right around 420 numbers right there. Okay, it gets even better.
Yeah.
I did not know this, but New Year's Eve was our best day for overall purchasers. Now, you'll notice if I scroll back up, revenue seems up, but not crazy up. It's because of the discounting.
Yeah.
The retail strategies were on point this year. And you can see right here as well. Prices were dipping crazy. And a lot of our concentration is in Massachusetts and New England, New York City, New Jersey. But it has been coming back up when the price that an average purchaser is actually putting into a cart. But I did not expect to see that kind of number.
I want to dive into the discounting. So scroll down just a little bit again.
Yep.
So it looks like it's dropping off a cliff a little bit from October. So is it just the fact that retailers are like, okay, we're going to stock up with a bunch of product, discount it, get a lot of people into the stores, and then artificially prices just are naturally lower now because it's just one-time discounting situation?
That's definitely a component of it. This is a really interesting number for e-commerce brands. This is actually not how much was actually purchased by each purchaser. This is, I had this much traffic, and of that traffic, a certain percentage of that population bought things. That's what the average number of that population.
That's not basket size.
So it's not basket size. No, it's like the value of each customer who comes to your website, not knowing who actually ordered online and who actually just popped in. So this is
active user. That's actually a good number.
It's a good number. Yeah. It's a really good number.
For per active user on the website, you make $20. So we could go into the marketing side. It's like, okay, so what's your CAC? What's your cost of acquisition for those customers, right? So if you and the simple math and the marketing side of it is, if you're able to have a CAC that's lower than your sale price, then you potentially are making, it's an infinite money hack, right? You're like, hey, if it only costs me $2 to get a customer, they're going to spend $20.
Exactly.
Of course, your margin is maybe 50% of that, though, right? So it's like it's $10 you're making in profit potentially before taxes, gross profit wise.
I also want you to take a look at the days in which the pricing just really dipped.
Yeah, what is that?
So this actually is the day after 420, after Green Wednesday, rather. So, like, I guess just no one was spending money the day after.
Well,
because that actually is Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
that is
Thanksgiving. It's trash. Yeah, Thanksgiving Day, we barely saw any movement. There's a few stores that are open, and I actually think that's such an interesting play where you have people who are in the store on Thanksgiving Day. Now, I'm sure some customers are like panicking. They're like, oh God, I got to get my pre-roll for dinner or something like that later today. But God forbid we spend sober time with our families. But I also think that it's funny in the sense that there's no, there's not like, I mean, there are some unions in cannabis, of course, but there's no really like employee protection over that stuff. You're like, hey, we're just going to be open on Thursday. You're working the shift. And like, well, I got to go to my family dinner while you're fired. You know what I mean? Like, it could be, but I actually, it was funny because I was getting that ick about people opening on Thanksgiving. And so I'll see a post on Instagram, hey, we're open on Thanksgiving Day. And I'm like, why would you do that? Like, I don't get it, blah, blah, blah. It's almost like, does Best Buy need to be open on Thanksgiving Day? You know what I mean? It's like, not really. I mean, Black Friday's the next day. Like, you're going to get your deals then. But I get it. But at the same time, I always think to myself, man, that's hurts my soul a little bit. But I actually did see one Instagram post that said, now, I don't know if it was the owner who actually came out and like manipulated the situation on this one, but it was like, our employees asked us to be open on Thanksgiving Day because some people need the money, right? They need the... Who said that? I'm not going to name that. No, I'm not mentioning any name. But there was definitely one Instagram post where I was just like, oh, that's an interesting take. Like, my employees wanted to be open on Thanksgiving Day, so twist my arm, we'll be open on Thanksgiving Day.
I would love to hire all of those employees.
You're working out. But if you look at the numbers are trash.
The numbers are trash. The numbers are total trash.
And since I actually do have the alerts in front of me right now, let me pull up. So what was the day? It was the 28th? Yeah. So Jacob, switch to my screen for Thanksgiving Day. So as we know, an average day was, I said like $3.5 million is less than $500,000. Okay. So the stores that were open did okay, but it's really not like $19,000 a day. It's a decent store, but it's not a great turnout for the most part, right?
Yep.
Now for Zaza Green in Springfield, maybe that was the only store open in Springfield, and so they're like, "Hey, that's the only store, so we're going to open."
Yep,
we're going to stay open. But like, you know, it's interesting to see some of these stores open, but like you're seeing some numbers here that are just like absolutely tiny. Now,
I'm guessing that's hangover from the previous night or something.
Yeah, there could be just extra sets that came through the calculator because Little Alerts isn't precise, you know?
Exactly.
So when I look at this stuff, though, I think that like, man, like where do we even rank on this one? Do we even get any sales that day? You know what I mean? Like, can't even find us. 81. We made $1,200. $1,200 on Thanksgiving Day.
Wow. So, you look at some of the stores in there that didn't do half of that. You know, you gotta feel okay about that.
Yeah. So, all right. So, what's your theory here? You're saying New Year's Day or New Year's Eve specifically. Is that the number one day of the year?
So I'm gonna go back to our conversation from our last one of these, our last grow mode, dude. Like New Year's, was it New Year's Eve? New Year's Eve was on a Friday this year.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm in 2024. I was going back.
Right? I think I'm right about that. I'm pretty
sure. We'll see. New Year's.
No, it wasn't. It was a Wednesday. So it's like near the end of the week. I think that stuff happening on Fridays or later in the week is going to influence higher sales. We saw that for 420. We saw the reason why. I don't think 420 did well because of Easter. I'm still committed to that line of thinking. I think that next year it'll probably do pretty lackluster as well because it's on a Monday and people have to go to work and it's not that exciting.
Right, exactly. No, I get it. It's just so interesting to see New Year's Eve be the number one on your data set anyway.
Yeah.
This one looks like a good day.
Well, think about it. People are drinking less and less alcohol in this country, and cannabis is getting more and more legal despite what some groups are trying to accomplish. I mean, it's only natural.
I feel like there's definitely some days, and they're all holidays. And we talked about the Ford truck month.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, it's that kind of idea. It's like, okay, we got Green Wednesday, we got Black Friday, we have New Year's Eve,
Cyber Monday too.
Cyber Monday.
That was actually a pretty good day of visuals. Yeah, it was pretty good.
And Cyber Monday.
Yep.
We have 420, of course.
Yep.
We have Christmas Eve, which I think was also a good day.
Christmas Eve was a really strong day.
So I don't know, people were just gifting away our products, but our month in December is our best month of all time for us.
The 23rd and the 23rd was a better day than the 24th, but like, just think about it. Like, cannabis makes and a wonderful stocking stuffer. It's great for Secret Santa. Like, it's good for all that stuff.
Yeah, love it.
Yankee Swap.
100%. Yeah, Yankee Swap, the pocket, especially blue ones.
Oh, yeah.
Or our drinks, which you can order on.
You get to be the cool uncle to bring cannabis to the party.
I definitely am an unk.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. Okay, so let's do this. Let's have a fun little game. Jacob, you can kill my screen. Let's do a fun little game. Okay. We're going to call this segment Keep It or Cut It. I'm going to name a brand in the market, and you're going to say keep it or cut it. I'm going to name 8 of them. You get to keep 4, and you get to cut 4. Okay?
Yes.
Now, I know you're going to know a lot of people in this list, and I know that it's going to hurt, but we're just having fun here. Okay? This is a fun little segment. So we'll call this the edible edition because there's just edibles in this one. Okay. So, are you an edibles person?
I am.
Yeah. Actually, you're going to probably have tasted most of these. So keep 4 and cut 4. Edible edition.
Got it.
How do you feel about Betty's Eddies?
I like it.
I keep it?
Keep it.
There's only 8 on this.
I get it. No, you started off with a really good one now. Like the taffy, like there's not a lot of taffy in the market, man. And that's a pretty good one. And I've never had a bad time on Betty's Eddies, particularly the bedtime Eddies.
I had somebody from Nature's Heritage, Very Med, like that whole group come on the podcast. He was in the cultivation side of it. And he had mentioned Betty's Eddies, of course. Or, no, he's a kitchen manager. Oh, my God, I forgot what he actually did. I'm so sorry to my guest. But, no, because we were talking about, he was director of operations and stuff like that. So he wasn't in cultivation. My apologies. But we were talking about Betty's Eddies, and I was like, okay, on record is a taffy.
Mm-hmm.
He goes,
yeah,
it's taffy.
Name one other taffy.
Well, because it's marketed as fruit chews now.
It's taffy, though.
We kind of,
it's not water taffy as far as I'm concerned.
I apologize to anybody with anybody who's on Very Med's team right now who's like, don't call it, especially the marketing team. I apologize. It's taffy, but like you can call it whatever you want. We choose whatever. All right, next brand, Wana.
Yeah, dump it.
All right, we got Keepin' Betty's, Dumpin' Wana. All right, Caminos.
Oh, I like so many people that work there, but
Can
I come back to it or no? I have to do it now.
You got to know because I'm going to tell you other ones and you can get reorder. You have to guess now.
Gosh, I really hope the remaining ones are good. I don't use the product. That's the only reason why. I don't think it's a bad product, but I am dumping.
Got it.
I'm dumping it.
Coast.
I really like Coast. I really like the entrepreneurs behind Coast. I went to college with both of them. They're awesome people. Angela and Brian are great. Keep it.
Wild.
Dump it.
Choice Chews.
Dump it.
Well, you got 4 dumps. You're capped out on dumps, so you got to keep the rest.
I guess so.
Kana?
Yeah, I like Kana. That's actually great.
All right. And then the last one, edibles. What are they? Oh, geez, of the market. Incredibles.
Well, I mean, I don't have any options here, so I'm keeping it. That's a keeper.
Now, looking back, though, would you have swapped in Caminos over Incredibles?
No.
All right. So you actually...
I'm not accurate. I'm not I think that edibles is such a large SKU factory, and I feel like it's not fair to like compare edibles that have a wide range of chocolates, gummies, chews, taffies. They are taffies. It's just too broad of a topic for me. Like if you were to compare apples to apples against chews, I'd have much different numbers for you.
What other chews exist?
I guess I really don't have that. But Incredibles, I only know them for the chocolate. I've never had one of their non-chocolate products.
Right, because what do they make though? It's like what is the other thing though? What is the Incredibles besides chocolate?
Isn't it a gum? They have a gummy. I thought. Like it's like a weird, like it kind of looks like medicine you'd give to like a kid who has like a cold or something. That's like a weird, like kind of medical packaging. I want to say.
I haven't sure. I've actually never had Incredibles either, so I don't really know. But I do know that like if you're gonna start a brand, maybe Fruit Chews is where it's at.
Yeah.
There's only one Fruit Chew at the market.
What were your picks? Just out of curiosity.
Oh, I'm agnostic.
I'm not gonna.
No, I love you. No, but I love these guys. Like Coast, absolutely. I think Wild makes some of the best stuff. I can't consume Wild because they're gelatin. If they made a pectin version, then maybe. The only thing with Wild is I did accidentally try one because they had some non-infused around. I tried it before I knew it was gelatin.
Yep.
And it had almost like a marshmallow consistency.
Okay.
It was a little bit too soft. I wanted something more with a bite, but I've heard their flavors are phenomenal. And like Camino, I think I'd probably go with Camino over the other ones, and then Wana maybe. I don't like taffy. It's just not my thing. So I'm not Betty's Eddies is just not my thing.
My bitch about Camino is it's ridiculous. I don't like the container. I don't know if it still comes in the container. The little like Zin fucking like tin or what it doesn't feel like it's ever actually closed. So I feel like it's never actually sealed.
But I liked that. The reason why I like Camino is why I like Coast also, because they have all the functional gummies and ratioed and stuff like that.
Yep.
That stuff I think is important for the market to have. Like if everything was just straight THC all the time, we wouldn't. What are we doing here?
Right. Coast has chocolates as well. I don't know if I've actually had. I don't buy a lot of chocolate. Period.
Coast makes really great chocolate.
I believe that.
Like they have like the inclusions and stuff like that. They do like little swirls on their stuff. Coast is just they're doing things right.
Right.
I agree with that. All right. So is it time for the giveaway? How many people do we have live on stream approximately?
We had like 2 or 3.
Well, that's disappointing.
Oh, yeah.
Now, did we do, all right, now I'm gonna land to Jacob real quick. How much outreach did we do for this show?
That's the thing. There was like a lot of like DMs that went out.
Okay.
So
there was a lot of talk of research, outreach, or did we actually did outreach?
we did a little bit of outreach with the social media and stuff. I think there was like a glitch in when I was trying to message everyone out, or like when I was trying to get a hold of Shad.
That's what they all say.
I'd be willing to try some Google advertising on this thing, because like I know what you can and cannot do as a retailer or a brand, but I'd be interested to see what a podcast of restricted content might do.
So David Hutchins is on right now. Incredibles makes vapes too, which is so interesting.
I didn't know that.
Incredibles makes vapes. That's wild to me.
Really? I gotta.
So Jacob, check the LinkedIn numbers right now. What are we at? Because David's on, so we have at least one person on.
Yeah. Check correct.
Cool. All right, so I'm going to do the giveaway then, since we're already on, and we're on target and on time. All right, let's do a quick giveaway. Now, I want to say one thing about the giveaway real quick. This is a personal gift from me.
So generous.
I want to be very clear. Oh, also, by the way, thank you for the gift on the last show.
Oh, my pleasure.
I did the scratchy. Unfortunately did not win anything, but you scratch it. You don't know, it could be a winner.
Wow.
So, but appreciate your thoughts for that one. So for this giveaway, so if you're watching live right now, you're automatically entered. So no links, no forums, just being here, it qualifies you. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Anyone joining after I say this is the end is kind of not in the giveaway anymore. You have to actually be here. Okay. So if you're here, you're eligible. Now, the only other eligibility is you have to be 21 plus. Okay, because what I'm giving is one of our products. We're actually going to give somebody a full bottle of Good Vibes for joining us today live. That's lovely. So in this particular product, this is a 500 milligram Good Vibes strawberry. This isn't necessarily the one, but maybe, I'll send you probably a couple of choices and then you can kind of choose from that one. So this is the giveaway for this episode. We'll probably do future episodes where we do other giveaways, but I just thinking, to reward the community, reward your attention and your attendance by giving away some Good Vibes. Again, this is a personal gift from me, not from my company.
And not from me either.
It's like, well, I mean, you could also give it, but it has to be a personal gift because you're going to go water bottle. It has to be a personal gift. The CCC regulations knows that I personally cannot I can personally give something, but my company cannot give something. So this is not on behalf of Good Vibes. This is on behalf of me. Okay. So do we know all the people who are alive right now? Jacob.
So
I need your data.
we got Damian Gomez,
I know Damian Gomez.
Hutchinson's, and Antoine Henry.
Very cool.
All right. So I want you to enter. So we're going to continue. All right. So anybody who is on the YouTube or the LinkedIn Live, what we need to do is, I think LinkedIn is easier because they have full names. YouTube is just going to be like an anonymous link handle.
Yeah.
So let's try to do, you include YouTube in this one, but primarily LinkedIn. Put those names on like one of those spinny wheel things to select like a winner. Okay?
You got it.
All right. So those are the three. So we got David Hutchins, Antoine Henry, and then another, you know the person?
I know Damian Gomez. He's a great guy.
Damian Gomez. Yep. So those three, spin the wheel. We'll do the live spin the wheel too. So when you're ready, let me know. All right. Very cool.
I do have to comment on David Hutchins.
Yeah.
Bro, I don't think they make vapes. I don't think Incredibles makes vapes. I've been pouring all over their website. I have yet to see a vapes. I see chocolates and I see gummies.
And gummies was the other one. Okay.
Yeah, he said vapes, I think.
No, I know, but I remember we talked about like how, yeah, I don't see it either.
Just, trying to keep the facts straight on this show.
Well, yeah, right. We're trying. I don't know if that's going to be us. I don't know if we actually can keep most of our facts straight.
Maybe that's insider information. Maybe David just broke a new product on the show for Incredibles Vapes. You heard it here first.
You heard it here first from David. So David, big fan. There's David is in the industry, so he knows something.
Insider.
Is an insider guy. All right, so let's move on to, while we get this, is the spinner ready, or should we just move on to the next thing?
I would move on.
All right, moving on to the next thing, social consumption. What are we talking here? So as of, I think, effective today, social consumption rules are actually in place.
I believe
it's like the first actual business day of the new year, technically, right? So social consumption rules are now in place. Now I think the next steps are going to be towns actually, like, not towns, I would say, there would be a process to actually sending your applications, yada, 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 and there'll be a queue for it and stuff like that. I actually did speak to somebody recently. It was Chris Fevry. And that was the episode last Friday, correct, Jacob? So I can reveal this. So Chris Fevry had mentioned that on our podcast together, he had mentioned that since the repackaging is so new for delivery operators, since that was just allowed recently, when you log into the CCC's portal, which is Mass SIP portal, Mass CIP, what you do is you go in and you say, all right, I want to add packaging to my delivery operation. So now I can take in bulk flour, I can repackage it, and I can like make my own pre-rolls or whatever. That wasn't allowed until recently, but it's been allowed.
So like a label.
It was actually allowed a year ago.
Like a white label?
Yeah, exactly. So you can buy product from, say, like Impressed or something like that, and you can repack it or whatever, or buy raw flour and do your own thing. But he had said that Mass CIP, the portal where you actually submit for all this stuff, is not up to date. So they actually can't even accept it yet. So I'm curious how quickly social consumption applications are going to be available to actually submit. Is that today? I haven't logged in yet.
It looks like the regulations took effect on January 2nd.
Oh, I guess that would have been the first day, Friday.
Yep. It still mentions Summit Lounge is the only one in operation today, which I think
that's not technically.
I don't think that's technically true, but
yeah,
such as AI.
Yeah, exactly. Is it Gemini?
It's Gemini. Yeah. I don't see anything about. I know that there have been people who have submitted paperwork. I don't know where they are in that process right now. I know of at least 2 people in Mass who have done paperwork on it.
Yeah, there is no. So I'm on Mass CIP. You can switch to my screen real quick. So Mass CIP, this is stuff that people usually don't see. You don't even see this stuff, right? Because you're out of it.
Not random.
So you can apply for a step ME license, agent registration card, lab agent card, RVT, MMTC, which is medical, RVT delivery, RVT advanced. This is if you want to like train people in the future. the HCA stuff. So equity application, actually host community municipal equity application. I don't know what that is. License expiration extension request application. So if you expire, something happens in the system that you have to extend it, you can still extend it. And then community impact fee reporting application. So there's stuff like that no one really uses. But let's click inside of MEs. All right, so we have retailer, cultivator, craft marijuana cooperative, which I think there's like 2 of them in the market.
I think that makes sense.
Product manufacturing. Okay, I'm going to scroll slowly. Research facility license, which I don't think there's still a. Oh, David says we sold them at the store. Maybe it doesn't exist anymore.
This is the Incredibles vape.
Sure. So I told you, he knows.
I'm not sure. I'm not doubting it. I just, they gotta get their website up to date, David. I think.
All right, we got ITL, so independent testing lab. We have the standards testing lab license, which is interesting because I don't remember that one being there, but I think that might be it. The new one compared, because you want to do a standards lab now. Transporter license while holding another ME. So you get a whole transport license. Third-party transporter license out in general. So if we wanted to do our own packaging, shipping and transport, we would have to apply for this one, it looks like. So we already have a marijuana business license. We'd have to do transport, we'd have to actually have that one as well. Micro business, which again, I don't know if there's a couple.
That one changes state by state. It's something completely different in Minnesota than it means here, by my understanding.
All right, we got courier, or pre-cert courier, and then courier. That's remnant. That like pre-cert courier doesn't exist.
I think the micro business is like a co-brewer, kind of like what Sam Adams did originally. Where they don't own the like place where they're brewing the beer. That it's like a brand that goes and like co-packs with some. I think that's what it is.
That's another thing. I'm more thinking about like how many actually are there in the market? Like
in the market, according to Cannabis Media.
We could also just go to the CCC website.
384 in the country right now.
384 businesses.
Micro businesses that are at least recognized by cannabis.
Micro business delivery, marijuana delivery operator, pre-cert, and then marijuana operator license, which I can't start these applications, bro.
It's intentional.
Apply for a court appointee license.
Now, what the hell does that mean?
This is when I think you because there's no bankruptcy law, cannabis, and so you have to get a court-appointed person to
sort through
it and go through a whole process.
Does that change if 280? I wonder. I think it does. If once that's all enacted, I think that changes.
Okay, here we go. Marijuana packaging labeling. All right, I still don't see social equity. Social consumption anywhere here. No research permit, and that's it. So, it's as of today, anyways. I don't see a way to actually submit a social consumption license.
Are we saying that a Massachusetts-run state website is out of date? I refuse to believe.
At the bottom, it actually says copyright 2019.
You know what does it? Does it really? No.
That's a little tech joke.
That's funny. I like that. That's good. That's clever.
Okay, switching gears. So actually, let's get to social consumption though. So we know it effective as of 1/2. Applications, probably people are already preparing applications. Whether you can submit or not doesn't seem to be likely. But again, I haven't logged into the Mass CIP. I'm not doing social consumption, so I haven't really been paying too much attention to it. But if anybody does know the answer to that, if you can actually even apply yet, that would be huge to know.
Maybe David knows. David, you're like the voice of reason over here. What do you?
Yep, exactly, David. Let's go. David Hutchins in the chat. Love to see it. All right, so switch off my screen real quick, Jacob. I'm going to move to the next thing here. So on social consumption, I just really want to know, what do you think about, is this a license type that's valuable? Or even going to do, is it going to be the big change in the market that we see? Or is it going to be like delivery operators, when they first coming online, the retailers fought tooth and nail. We don't want to have delivery operators, or if we're going to have delivery operators, it can't just be social equity. Everybody has to ask. They've put up such a huge fight to prevent delivery operators from operating that when they finally came online, again, regulations take a long time, applications and inspections and build outs and stuff like that. When the first one started coming online, they didn't wipe out their retails at all. They barely made a dent in their revenue.
I think most of them have probably shuttered at this point.
A lot of have shutting.
So what I'm getting to, though, is in social consumption, is that like the same? Is that basically the same thing that's going to happen? Where it's like everybody's going to be like, oh, man, this is going to be such a huge opportunity for everybody. And then it kind of just peters out.
My thought is this, like, I've been to the Summit Lounge. Again, you and I both agree that's probably not, well, it's not technically, that's technically not the model, but I'm not looking to smoke weed with a bunch of people I don't know. And, you know, I think the winner here is like having a venue or an event or like comedy or a concert.
And they have those license types. This is a one-off, like a
exactly
pass, right?
I think those people who have that license will probably do a good job. I think the standalone physical business, I just don't know what the draw would be there. I mean, people have said things to me like, you know, what if it was like a virtual golf thing? I don't like golf, but it's interesting. A Dave and Buster's concept is kind of interesting, but you can already like smoke weed and go to a Dave and Buster's and not overpay on campus.
Right, exactly. Yeah, because there's obviously there was in the original draft regulations, there was concerns about like how much can you actually sell per person per thing? Is it their allotment? Are you going to have people showing up with like buying an ounce of weed and smoking an ounce while they're there? There's like a bunch of, everybody's talking about ventilation, obviously, in those cases and stuff like that. So there's a lot of active discussion around social consumption but I still feel it's like, it's one of those situations that the right person, and Todd Dunn actually mentioned this too. Todd, who runs Canada Lab Genetics, had mentioned that on our show, when I had him on as a guest on the podcast, he had mentioned actually that it can be very successful, but you have to be the right type of person with the right approach to it.
Yep.
You can't just be like, hey, I'm going to just... It's like a restaurant business. How many restaurants fail? Most of them.
Well, according to John Tapper from, what's it called? Bar Rescue, like 80% of restaurants will fail this year or whatever.
If you go in with the idea that you're going to create a restaurant, basically,
I don't think you can serve food at
well, I more mean like the lounge area. So it's like you're still creating a space, right? And you're expecting people to show up. You have to get people into there.
Yep.
We have a huge advertising problem where we can't really advertise still. So like, it's like delivery. It's like, why deliveries operators are super successful, or some of them are. There's a top three, right? There's going to be Zip Run, there's Rolling Relief, and there's Driz. But like, outside of the rest of them are so far behind, I feel like.
But think about those ones. Like I remember when Loom came into the market, and what was the other one? There was a couple like big ones. Ease. They were in California mostly, but they spent money to like advertise on Silicon Valley's like entry video and whatnot. These guys spent a fortune, and I'm pretty sure Loom is like in receivership. I don't know if I'll disclaimer. I don't know that, but they've definitely retracted quite a bit.
Yeah.
And what was the other one in New York City? I can't think who they were, but
the point is it this panacea that everybody thinks it's going to be? Probably not. So everybody has to temper their expectations to social consumption. It will be a slow grind. Like, that's just the way a lot of this stuff works. And I'm waiting for feedback on something right now. I really want to share something, but like, this person's not getting back to me. So I don't think I feel comfortable sharing his story. Maybe next time. But like, I have a really great one with this one, but
I think that will be successful.
Okay. He said yes, but anonymous.
Anonymously, he said yes.
So I'm not on camera, right? So I'm going to copy and paste this out. And this is a spicy.
Spicy content. We love spicy content.
So I'm going to throw up a new quick document, and I'm just going to paste in there, and I'm going to make sure his information is not available. So, because this is something that I think everybody has to have a grasp on. So let me increase the text a little bit, and I threw it up to like 150%. Oh, this is good. I'm so glad I looked at my phone because I was waiting for him to respond. All right, very cool. All right. So in the spirit of getting kicked in the nuts, in the spirit of all the things that we complain about in this industry, I saw a spicy post anonymously attributed to nobody on a social media platform. I won't even say which one yet. And it really triggered a lot of comments and many people in support of it. Okay. So again, social consumption, delivery. It's always like there's this grand vision of what it's going to be, and it always kind of doesn't live up to its promise,
Right.
Lived up to its hype.
Right.
All right. So switch to my screen. I'll read this verbatim. All right. Let me have to move this over so you can get in there.
Separated by rules. Yeah.
My biggest regret in the past decade was going into cannabis. It's an absolutely horrendous industry ran by ghouls who don't pay bills and stuffed with people who are completely full of, can I swear?
You can definitely swear.
Shit.
Shit.
I've hated every second of it for the past year and honestly dread doing another one. This space has beaten my soul to bits, and I legit have zero passion left for it. I pray that 75% of Massachusetts market collapses this year and burns. There's a pile of companies I love and respect, but the rest of them can just go belly up. It's almost all performance. A lot of these people know how to make themselves look great publicly. I think performance more mean that like the presentation, the optics of like a really successful
The
candidate.
fake it till you make it mentality, the social media influencer.
But
success.
they're conniving and snake-like in practice. I made fun of vaping a lot, but I would absolutely do anything to work solely in that industry. People paid their invoices and it was all about the customer. Weed is just a bunch of pigs cosplaying as medicine men and healers. Vicious.
So I know who this is. I won't say anything.
Please don't.
I'm going to be very quiet, but sobering.
yeah.
Sobering.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
How do you feel about the past decade or since your journey in cannabis? Does any of this ring true?
yeah, it honestly does. I mean, I tell people all the time that if I worked as hard as I worked in cannabis in either of my other two businesses, I'd be on the Forbes top richest men in America. But I work in cannabis, so like everyone else, I'm fighting the good fight.
Yeah, fighting the good fight. Yeah.
There's not a lot of people who are acting ethically in the space, and some are acting very ethically, others are acting the complete opposite of it, and it doesn't seem to balance out to be equal. It feels like I would agree with that number. 75% are people that are just complete schmucks, and 25 are solid people that I'm really glad to have in my life.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think for me, I will say 2025 was actually a good year because we're going to get into a little bit of that too. 2025 was a good year for us. We happen to have a product that hit product market fit, which is rare. And so like, it was a ton of work. It was really hard going from zero to where we are, like any business. And I think a lot of people underestimate how hard it is to grow a business, especially in an industry where you're handcuffed. It's so restrictive, whether it's advertising or 280E, which we can talk about in a second as well. But like, I definitely resonates with me a little bit. Like, I get the horrendous industry ran by ghouls that don't pay bills. I totally get it. And there's definitely people who are completely full of crap. Like, I've met so many, I'm just like, why would I ever take a phone call to that person ever again? I just wouldn't. Now, when it comes to paying bills, totally. Like, we got way smarter on it. And I feel for this person in his position, his or her position, because I understand their business model a little bit because obviously I know who the person is, but like, we sell a product that we have a licensed business with a licensed product that's going through these systems where this is kind of like an external-ish way. Like it's either B2B or B2C, but the B2C is also somewhat limited to based on the space.
Right.
So it's like, I get it. I think just like vendors like yourself, you're the last people they're going to pay.
I'm the last who's going to pay?
Well, I mean, you have... No, I'm saying...
Oh, I get paid.
Yeah, get paid.
I would agree with that.
Yeah. You're the... Because if they don't pay you, you could threaten 3 months later to turn their website off, maybe.
And we have done that.
Yeah. Like, for this person, he or she... Yep. From my perspective, like, they're the last person to get paid because they don't have... They have a product.
They have no recourse.
There's, like, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Right? So... There's not stop selling to them, and it's like,
but then you still don't have the money from the product you've already given them.
So exactly.
I totally get this point.
And then for our perspective, we have one person dedicated to collections at this point. That's
at Good Feels.
At Good Feels, we have one person. Their only job is to go around the state and collect.
That's a full-time job.
It's a full-time job. Now, of course, they have other like secondary roles, but that's their number one role. And anytime you're hiring somebody, I always recommend this to people. When you're hiring somebody for your company, give them one specific thing that there's their number one job that you're going to hold them accountable to, because that's going to 100% focus all their energy in that one thing.
Mm-hmm.
If you have the luxury of doing something like that. But for the most part, you kind of do. You just don't realize you do if you just structure your brain right. The point being, we actually did okay 2025, and we got paid. And we actually just heard from, I wish I could share the screenshots, but we got a shout out from the CCA, which is the Cannabis Collection Agency. They were like, you were like in the top 3 for collections in 2025. Amazing. Like you literally collected way faster than 99% of the people in the market. But again, I had to literally dedicate an individual body to do it. And so I understand his perspective. Beating the soul to bits, yeah, that's just what it is. I don't know much about the vape world, so I understand his perspective, like wanting to go back to an industry or solely in an industry that does that. And maybe he's making or she's making plans to go to that world, but like...
It sounds like this is not a cannabis-specific vape maneuver, possibly. Like Joel or something.
Yeah, I think they're more of a nicotine vape. Or, you know, they make vapes for like B12 now, but whatever.
Well, I'll tell you, like, again, not to beat a dead horse, but when we were in Vegas a couple weeks ago, most of my competitors, I have a friendly relationship with most of them. The number one thing all of them said to me is that they are diversifying the industry that they're servicing. Some of them are going to do things with brands in cannabis. Others are going into different restricted areas. And then others are like thinking about leaving the industry entirely.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I mean, I'll be honest. I've had those thoughts as well. I love what I do, and I love to do what we work for, but
it's
hard.
I know. And, you know, one of the things, so actually, let's switch it up to 2026. Because I will like talk a little bit about like what 2026 looks like for us, because we've kind of like towards the end of 2025, we knew we had to make some plans for 2026. We had the luxury of sitting back for a second and actually like take a breath and say, okay, what does 2026 look like for us? And so we roadmapped out the first 2 or 3 quarters of what it's going to look like. And we actually have a call later today, right after this, to go through like and finalize more of these plans to really extend us out to Q3 of like what our actual product roadmap is going to look like, events, marketing, all that stuff is getting all mapped out right now. And we're going to allocate budgets to it, stuff like that. So we're finally professionalizing or structuring a little bit better, organizing a little bit better of like what it's going to look like for the foreseeable future for us. But when I look at like where we were a year ago, we were running around with our heads cut off. It was like chaos everywhere. It was like a fire over here and literally like rain coming in our facility at one point.
Really?
Yeah, it was, the roof here is, look at the spots of the roof. It's ridiculous. It's like, you see like these little spots, and they patched the roof recently. Our building is for sale, and I believe it's under contract right now. So hopefully the new owner will come in here and clean up all
Clean some shit up.
They actually were like, I told them, I was like, I'll pay market rate, because we're way under market rate. I don't know how I got this deal. But we'll pay market rate if you fix the roof, if you fix the parking lot, if you fix all these little things. Well, I happen to pay market rate.
Yeah.
Makes sense, right?
You should make money when you do a good job.
Exactly. So what does, like, coming off of this kind of message that was sent from a friend, what is 2020, if there's going to be one takeaway for 2026, what would it be for you?
Similar to what you're saying is we're going to advertise. We're going to market like fucking crazy because, you know, we had the luxury of not really needing to do that from 21 to 23. 24 was kind of challenging. We still grew like crazy. 25 was a tough year for my company. A very tough year. I wrote off a substantial amount of money in bad debt from people who just exited their contract. I've already been saying goodbye. But we've also identified an ICP, and we know who we want to go after, and we're going after them. So, you know, marketing, that was a big take.
Marketing, yeah, big marketing push. I would say, and you helped us a ton also identifying different opportunities for us. So I appreciate that, because we have a little bit of marketing budget now. So
I see you guys.
How do we get in there? You know,
I see you guys everywhere now, and like that's not the case for a lot of brands. They don't take the initiative to like realize that just because you're on a shelf doesn't mean someone's going to buy you.
Dude, self-help, you're not even on a shelf. And that's actually the biggest pet peeve I have sometimes, is the fact that like you walk into the store, you don't even know we exist sometimes.
Right.
Unless you pre-ordered it online, you have no clue we even exist on the shelf. But how about any market trends? What do you think's going to happen in 2026? Are we going to see federal legalization? Are you seeing a price compression relief? Will like
I think June, July, August, we're going to start seeing the benefits of the regulation changes that we just heard about in the last couple of weeks. I think, to this person on the screen's point, I think we're going to see a lot of companies go out of business because you can only run like a bad actor for so long before it catches up to you. I do think that a lot of the companies that are 90 days in the hole, that are behind on bills, are going to go under quickly. And I think that the market share will be absorbed by dispensaries and brands that do a good job and have worked really hard to like earn that customer base. So I think a day of reckoning is coming in the early half of this year, followed by hopefully a pretty prosperous uptick.
so towards the end of the year, you see. So as companies start to go out of business, all that market share will shift to the companies that are still in it. So it's more of the long-term vision of being in the market.
There's too many brands. There's too many dispensers of not enough differentiation between each other.
Yeah.
Like everyone says they want to be the Starbucks or the Apple store. But like the reality is it's CVS versus Walgreens, and which one wins that fight? Whichever one's closer to you physically.
Exactly. If you notice out here, there's a CVS across the street from Walgreens.
I did see that.
That's a tactic of, I can't remember if it was Walgreens or CVS that said that. They were like, yeah, wherever we should have Walgreens, we put a CVS there because that's where it is. You know what I mean? So very interesting. And yeah, depends. Sometimes it's wild. It depends on what side of the road I'm on. If I'm on the side of the road, I'm like, oh, I'm just going to go to CVS. If I'm coming home from work, I'll go to the Walgreens.
Yep.
It's wild like that, right? This dispensary, same thing.
It's the same thing. Like, half these towns, like Attleboro, they have dispensaries across the street from one another. Like,
And they both have Band-Aids.
and they have and they have Trust toothpaste for the exact same price. So like, how do you pick when they're both wearing red vests with white plastic name tags, the same price on Trust toothpaste?
Exactly. And then at least they can advertise and market.
That is true. They can do that.
So that's one thing. Do you believe, I actually asked this question. I asked this question to everybody. Do you believe in resolutions? Have you made a resolution if you believe in one?
Yeah.
What's your resolution?
I'm going to continue to not drink alcohol this year.
Okay.
Yep.
That's a good one. Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, just continue to like get healthy. But, of course, I started the year off by immediately having a stomach issue this year.
Oh, no.
Yeah, but I'm all right now.
A bug.
I don't know what it was. I was bedridden Saturday and started feeling.
Dude, it was wild. Like our production team was out. One of our marketing people were out. There was like, there's definitely something going around right now, and it's rampant.
Oh, yeah.
People are getting taken out left and right. Half my son's basketball team was out sick at one point or something crazy. It was wild.
I was
out too.
I was debating whether to go to the emergency room or not, but ultimately decided just to tough it out, and yeah, I feel a lot better.
You came out on the other side.
I came on the other side. Exactly.
Fantastic. So yeah. All right, Jacob, you can swap screens again or cut me off.
What was your resolution?
Oh yeah, thanks for asking. My resolution is to continue to kick ass. I usually do. No, I don't know. I don't actually believe in resolutions. I kind of think like if you're already doing shit, you just keep on doing the shit that's. Actually went to I took a bunch of tests recently. So I took I did a DEXA scan.
DEXA scan. I don't know what is that?
So I happen to know the guy who runs Protocol Healthcare or something like that. And we were talking about all this stuff, and he was like, hey, why don't you come in for like a big, set of tests. And so I'm going to keep this story short because I'm not sure how interesting this is for everybody, but it was interesting to me at least. If you're into health and stuff like that, then it's definitely going to be interesting. But Human Powered Health, they're based out of Wellesley. I went in there and did 4 sets of tests. I did a DEXA scan, which also tested, it tests your body composition, like muscle, fat. Okay. Also tests imbalances, like my left leg is a half a pound heavier than my right leg, for instance.
Interesting. Okay.
It's a big scanner, just goes over and scans like back and forth over your body.
Interesting.
And then bone density, for instance, is part of that as well. I found out my left femoral neck and my right femoral neck which is like where the hip goes into the socket. Like there's a little skinny part there. This was not as dense as the rest. Everything else was above our average in bone density. Yep. But this part was not because I deprioritized deadlifts because of my back. Yep. So since that wasn't doing any hinge movements, it was all hinge movements. That femoral neck it wasn't as dense anymore. Right. You have to, if you use it,
you don't lose it.
Exactly. And the density stays in your body. And that's one of the biggest risks if you get older. If you I'm not even I'm grandpa at this point. What's happening is if you fall over, that's where you break your hip, right? Kind of thing. It's just that snaps off that neck part. So that's why it's like I was negative 0.9 standard deviations away from a negative on the normal.
Wow.
So I have to start doing more hinge movements and stuff like that.
Are there supplements they can give you as well to like help?
Kind of. It's like, yeah, calcium a little bit, but it's like, I get a lot of calcium through my diet, so I'm like not crazy about that one. But this is where ChatGPT comes into play because I was like, what else can I do? And it gave me a bunch of movements to do and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's like, you remember that back in the day, it was like Body by Jake?
Is that the guy who wore the costume? Like the body costume? Oh,
Body by Jake. It was like this guy, this influencer, he'd be like doing all the jazzercising and stuff like that. He'd be like, yeah, Body by Jake. And he had like the stomach, the ab machine. You know, the punch machine and stuff like that. So this is not Body by Jake, by the way. This is Body by ChatGPT. So what I've done is I've completely loaded into ChatGPT all these benchmarks and stuff like that. Like I've got my function health tests, which have 100 plus panels on it. I've got the DEXA scan stuff. I've got the other 3 things they did, just to get back to that story, is they did a grip test.
What's a grip test? Like how strong your hand?
Yeah, how strong your grip is.
Okay.
I scored above average on that one, which I was happy about.
That's good.
Movement test, which they actually... So the thing is, when you do this, you're going in fasted with no caffeine, and it's like 11:30.
How fasted? Like, are we talking a full day of fasting?
Yeah, and you no strength exercises before that. You cannot do any rigorous workouts before this test. So I was literally out of the gym for 24 hours, and I started fasting the night before. I woke up, no caffeine, which was awful. I love my coffee in the morning. And I get there, and they would like, you can't even warm up.
No.
Like they want you to be cold during the movement test, because what they do is when they do test the movements, they want to see how your body compensates for certain things. So one exercise I had to like dip my leg over and back. And when I did that, my knee kind of bent out a little bit. So it was just like, I had a camera and everything watching your movements, and it was judging you like, all right, you've got all these kind of compensations that are happening in these movements. Yeah. And then the last one, which was 100% the worst experience of my life. I'm being a little facetious. A VO2 max. So I did a VO2 max test. You got to get on this, man.
I'm like, trying to keep up.
I did a VO2 max test, and it was on the treadmill. I did the climbing version, so not like the running version. Huh. And the climbing version it sounds like so easy. You're like, oh, we're going to start at 9% incline. I think it was 6% incline on a treadmill.
That's healthy.
At a 1.7 miles an hour.
Okay, that's pretty.
And the guy was like, and for 3 minutes. And he goes, this is going to be the most boring part of it.
So 6% incline, 1.5 miles per hour treadmill.
Okay, so then what they do is, so for the next 3 minutes, they'll do like 2.5 miles per hour at like a 9% incline.
Okay.
And then eventually you get up to the fifth stage, which I got to the 5th stage, which was 16% incline at like 5 or 5.5 miles per hour.
That's pretty aggressive.
I held on for like a minute and 15 seconds into that one, because every 3 minutes, it would just keep on getting worse and worse and worse. I quit, and I knew I quit, but I was like, I'm done with this. I don't want to do this anymore. Like, I don't need to be here. I was like upset how bad I quit. It was bad. But I scored above average on the VO2 max test. So anyways, I did all these tests, but the point being that like, the reason why I bring these things up is because at the end of it, the guy was like, whatever you're doing, keep doing it.
Mm-hmm. That's good. That's a
so
great
diagnosis. Do I need 2026 resolutions? Not really. I'm just doing the things I should be doing anyways. And so maybe there's a whole new segment on longevity and health and fitness and stuff like that we can go into. But it's something I've been doing all my life. I'm a huge passion for like that stuff. So like if anybody wants to hit me up and ask me like questions about it, definitely will. Maybe even do a live stream where I'm doing like a zone 2. Oh, so one of the things I'm doing is zone 2 training on treadmills.
Zone 2. Real quick for the listeners out there, VO2 max refers to the maximum amount of oxygen your body can use during an intense exercise, just so everyone's on the same page.
Yeah, so definitions provided below. It's not. So so the one thing I did recently do was zone 2 training. So zone 2 for me is between like 105 to 150, 120 maybe beats per minute heart. On like a slight incline on a treadmill, just walking. And I started doing it I did it this morning, which I started sweating, and I was like, this is actually way too hard for me. Such a wimp. I have such a comfortable life. I'm like such a wimp when it comes to like working out. But anyways, I was sweating like literally like 3 hours ago in that room. and just walking like,
What, you're doing it here? You have it set up here. That's great.
I have it set up here, and everybody has to if everybody wants to use it in the company, they can, but they have to sign a liability waiver because everybody falls.
Whole mess.
And so, you know, I have to call my insurance company and stuff like that to let them know, you know, there's fitness equipment here and stuff like that.
Do a lot of people use it besides you?
Well, we just got it.
Oh, you just got it. Oh, you just brand new thing. Got it.
So, but if on a slight incline, I think I was doing like 3-4 miles an hour, something like that. But I was on a phone call, so I was like, I might as well start walking. Right?
Why not?
Well, it's winter. I'm not gonna go walking outside. So, like, I mean, I guess I could, but again, I'm a pedal medicinal. Why do I even live here? Why do I even exist? So, I was doing that, and I got like a little mini workout in, right? And so that's one of the things I'm going to hopefully try to stay consistent in 2026. I think that would be the resolution, but it's already I kicked it off like a few days ago, so I didn't really think it was really part of a resolution.
Cardio is a brand new thing for me as of like May of last year. I never ran. I have flat feet. I'm a terrible runner. My knees hurt. But
Get some orthopedics. That sounds
that's actually a good point.
I'm such a grandpa. So I am, I'm old, and so my head immediately went to orthopedics. Because if you get foot issues, that's how you fix them, is you actually have these little supports in your feet. And yes, you feel like it's Dr. Scholl's, and you're like, oh my God, where's my cane and stuff like that. But it's actually,
it's your first friction point of your body. Like, you have to take care of your feet.
You have to take care of your feet. So anyways, long story short, 2026, I think we're going to still continue to kick butt. We've got a bunch of stuff planned in cannabis.
Outside of cannabis.
In hemp.
Got it.
And maybe a little bit outside of cannabis. We've got a bunch of stuff cooking right now.
Interesting.
We have like three definitive projects outside of cannabis right now.
Interesting.
And we have, so we don't know with 2026. So we're diversifying.
Yeah.
But I think it's because we built the airplane. Now people are like, oh, we're building the airplane as we fly it, right?
Right.
We kind of like built it.
Yeah.
Like with good vibe.
Proven
There's
model.
still going to be other areas where we're going to improve it, of course. And we're going to still iterate, and we're still going to continue to grow market share over and over again. And we're going to continue to focus on making sure that we have a team dedicated to this, right?
Amazing.
So now we have our e-commerce platform. That e-commerce platform, we're using it for hemp products right now. We just released we just got our final shipment for Bethel in, Beverage Enhancers. Just came in stock. Somebody just bought 2 cases of it because we're just packed up. 2 cases of Bethels. That's a really cheap order. And one person ordered all this stuff. But we have an e-commerce platform. So why wouldn't we use it for things that are maybe not hemp? Right? Because we don't know the status of hemp. There's a lot of phone calls happening right now. There's a lot of legislation that potentially could get passed or could not get passed. And all of a sudden there's a ban, November of 2026. So we don't know where hemp is going to go. So we're trying to like figure out what we're going to do next. But anyways, these are hemp drinks here. Straighten those out. Those are our hemp drinks. You find them online. Don't worry about it. So, but I will say that the year is going to be really great to us. We're just going to be firing on all cylinders. We still have passion. I know not everybody has passion for this industry, such as that person, but I have 100% passion for this industry. It still was a huge, I still have come from the medical side of it myself, where I'm just like, it helped me so much that I'm going to continue to spread this as far and wide as I can. Which leads me to segment 2, the fun segment 2. It is 2:45. We've been going for an hour 15. Yeah. All right, we've been flying. I want to do this one, and then we can start to wrap.
Just letting you know, we have Todd Don couldn't join us, but he said good luck. And
hey, Todd.
Nugs, like the clapping emoji under the apps.
Excellent.
I'm going to add that to the giveaway.
Yeah, do that. Fine. So, Todd and Bobby, thank you so much for your support. As always, we have a call coming up with Bobby tomorrow, which would be a very exciting call. Hopefully we can announce more things after that. But what I want, I'm going to ask you another question.
Please.
Now, this is about terpenes. We're testing Dan's knowledge to see how much he understands cannabis terpenes. Okay. So the question is, name the top 5 terpenes most commonly present in cannabis.
Limonene, mycerine.
All right, you got limonene. I say limonene. Limonene, mycerine. Yeah, these are, so the thing is, people don't understand, like most strains, don't have exotic terpene profiles. They're built on the same kind of like 5 building blocks here. So there's top 5, myrcene being number 1.
Yep.
Limonene being number 3.
It's number 3. Okay.
We got
Pinol? Is that how much I mean? Pinene.
yeah, good. Pinene. 4. That's good.
Uh,
I love saying the name of one of these.
say it, because I'm not going to remember it. Okay, hold on. Give me 1 second. Now say it.
All right, so we got 3. Any other guesses?
No. God, I can see them all in my head. I just can't pronounce a single one of them.
Yeah, okay, I got you on the spot here.
Gotcha. Go.
All right. Number 5, humulene.
I would have not gotten.
Yeah, closely related to caryophyllene and often occurs with it, regularly detected even when not marketed. And caryophyllene. So that's what I love to say, because when I figured out, like when I first started getting to terpenes, I was looking at like botanical terpenes from like all these botanical terpene websites, and I was like, what is this caryophyllene? Like, what is that? I don't get it. But beta caryophyllene.
Yeah,
to me that sounds like a very pretty word. So, caryophyllene is extremely common and unique because it also interacts with CB2 receptors, shows up in many cultivars even when it's not dominant. So, but myrcene is like the biggest one. That's the most prevalent one. It's like, I think some odd, again, check your facts, folks. I'm not the fact guy, but something like 60% of terpenes is typically like a myrcene profile. It's just like so dominant.
Yep.
Limonene, like you said, is uplifting and balanced. That is present in small to moderate amounts. And pinene appears consistently and often overlooked because it's really the top terpene. But limonene and pinene, I think, are probably the most 2 common things that I think about. Because pinene, it's pine. It's like walking through a forest, right?
There's a lot, though. There's how many total terpenes have they discovered? There's like 65 or more than that, probably.
Or 100 at this point.
Is there really?
Yeah, something like that. And then limonene, same thing. It's like, I think limonene because I think of lemons. So it's like lemons, like the citrus peel, like that citrusy taste in your cannabis. That is the limonene. And the pinene, of course, pine. So, anyways, I figured that might be a fun little guessing game for you.
I wish I did better.
Okay, so what do you think? Do you want to talk? Any last comments on maybe, because we had a few things on here we didn't get to. We have potentially hiring and shedding headcount. We got rescheduling stock reactions, and we got actually we got 2 more. We got what businesses should be doing differently, as well as entrepreneurship shows. Anyone you want to cover real quick?
Yeah, I'd love to hear your so I'll speak to myself. I really like the show Billions. I really like I think Silicon Valley is the most honest reflection of being an entrepreneur that can be conjured up. Succession, Billions, Silicon Valley. I watched Mad Men recently for like the 12th time. That's a really good one as well. I'm curious what your like top 1 or 2 entrepreneurial dramas are.
Okay, so
And why?
yeah, so my top ones are going to be, I would say, entrepreneurial founder startup-y things. I actually have to change this because I don't watch any shows.
Okay.
So that's
That's hard.
I'm one of those weird people who are literally just like, I don't like, my daughter, who's 8 years old, is into Stranger Things right now.
Yeah.
She's 8 watching Stranger Things. Debatable how good of a parent I am sometimes. But
No judgment.
I don't like scary things. I have so much scary things in my life when it comes to like how a business is going to survive. I have nightmare fuel. So like, I don't necessarily need more nightmare. I don't need to give my brain ideas of like all the things that else could go wrong. So if I could see like Succession or Billions or Silicon Valley or whatever, I could just imagine like, oh, that's going to happen to my company. I'm going to like start to spiral out of control and have nightmares. So I do suffer from nightmares, which I love cannabis because I don't drink as much anymore. It's just my G's are way more reduced, I should say. So I'm a big fan of cannabis for that reason as well. Sleep is my go-to cannabis reason. But I will change it up a little bit and say podcasts.
Okay.
Because when I'm traveling,
Yeah.
like I had to go get my daughter in Concord, took an hour and a half to get there, an hour and a half back. Let's throw a podcast the entire time.
Right.
The top 3 podcasts I would say right now for me are going to be I'm still a founders person. David Senra has a podcast called Founders.
Let's go on.
It's really about nonfiction. It's about the history of the world, in a sense, through the lenses of people who have created really successful enterprises.
Yep.
So we're talking about like the Rockefellers.
Yep.
But we're also talking about like Brad Jacobs, who's like this. He's made $8 billion individually $1 billion companies. It's like, okay, it's like he has a book. He has 2 books now, and it's called How to Make Billions. How to Make Your First Billion or something like that.
Right.
Or How to Make a Few Billions.
That's what it is. I've read that.
And then second is How to Make a Few More Billions. So it's
Clever titles.
But again, like he has these really great profiles, whether you want to call them book reports or whatever, that condenses it to like the most salient points, which I can appreciate because we're sitting down reading a book. Sometimes it's hard. Although I do read fiction. I mean,
What do you read for fiction?
Mostly sci-fi fantasy bullshit. Because it sets my mind at ease at the end of the day. If I read nonfiction before bed, my brain is like, oh my God, there's so much going on. Like, I could think of all these different ideas. I need like a 30-minute cool down reading fiction where I can just fantasize about like this whole new world or something like that.
I watch these shows for the complete opposite reason that you avoid them. I like the idea that there's other companies and other founders out there that are as fucked up or even more fucked up than me, because it makes you feel at ease. And I'll tell you, like Silicon Valley as a software startup, like I think we've done every single dumb thing that they portray on that show and then some, whether it be legal matters or copyright. Like we've dealt with every single topic on that show. And it makes you feel like I can get through this as it is, because
I can appreciate it. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, for me, it was never really like, I was just like, but also, my only free time is probably in my car because I have 3 kids too. So when I get through the door,
you're bombarded.
Yeah, I will try to escape away, get in front of my computer, and actually try to do a little bit of work or whatever. Or even just like watch YouTube for a second, and that's hard. Yeah. So I mean, YouTube, I can go on about that too, but let's skip that part. But yeah, I really like. Maybe I should check out one of those shows. People just won't tell me. It's funny because once people find out that you like you're an entrepreneur, or you do startups or whatever, they're like, "Oh, do you watch Shark Tank?" I'm like, "I've never seen an episode." Do you watch Billions, whatever, not Billions, Silicon Valley, because you're a tech company, or whatever. I'm like, no, I don't. But it's funny how people like immediately think of those things. They're like, oh, you should watch that if you haven't seen it yet.
Right.
Not for me, unfortunately.
I don't watch a lot of Shark Tank. I don't find it terribly interesting, and it's all the same thing over and over again, rinse, repeat. So
we got asked to be
really
we interviewed for it. Yeah.
What happened?
We had so there's like these fixers, who's like makers, or whatever you call them, that like go out and interview a bunch of companies. So we were interviewing with one of the company with a guy, and it went really well. I just don't know their appetite for like cannabis. So it's like,
I imagine it's not very strong.
Yeah. So I'm like, I think he loved our story, but he was just like, yeah, but we'll see kind of thing.
They did do that functional mushroom wine on there. Well, I saw clips from that. Little Saints, I think it's what.
Yeah.
Have you tried that? Yeah.
I've not tried it yet, but I definitely know that.
Tried it. It's interesting. I don't know if I'd replace another beverage product with it.
Jacob, do we have the spitter? Because we got our wrap, because it's already 2:55 now. All right, fantastic. So this is the live one. So we got 5 people. We get David Hutchins, David, industry insider. He's in our chat. Antoine Henry, Damian Gomez, Todd Dunn, and Bobby Nuggs. All right, are we ready? Do we do a countdown?
Yeah, what?
3, 2, 1, spin.
Who's it gonna be? For the free bottle gift to me.
It had to have been.
Of course, it's David.
David's dropped.
Congratulations, David.
So it has to get.
I'll totally hit you up on a side note, probably through LinkedIn, I'm assuming, and we will get you a complimentary bottle of Good Vibes and whatever flavors we have kind of available for samples. And more importantly, this is a gift. The CCC, they may be watching. This is a gift from me to David. This is not a company gift to a person. This is me, because I know David. He's also in the industry, and we're friends. I'm going to gift a bottle of Good Vibes to David. So congratulations, David. Thank you so much for being on the live stream today. And for those who aren't on the live stream and watching this after the live stream, definitely check in to our next one so you can also participate in the next giveaway. We're going to do some fun ones here.
Yeah.
We're going to do a bunch of giveaways so we get people to actually be here live with us and share in the joy of rambling on about social consumption. Bye. Let's go to close. I think, any last thoughts?
No, I just hope everyone has a wonderful and productive and prosperous 2026.
I could always appreciate that. So, again, I want to remind everybody, everything we discussed today reflects our opinions and interpretation of public information available at the time of recording. Markets change, regulations change, technology changes fast. If you're in this industry, standing still is a real risk. If this episode was useful, follow the show, subscribe, and share it with somebody who should be paying attention to these things. So, like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Peace.